Hi guys, and welcome back to the channel. As ever, you can find me over on Instagram at the House of Langford and at Overall Sews. I'm also on Ravelry at MadXStitcher, and today is time for November's monthly roundup. So let's get this podcast underway, shall we? First things first, a little bit of admin for you. I'm still running the Biscorno along over on Instagram, so please keep using the hashtag over there. All the details will be down below for you for pretty much everything that I mentioned in today's podcast. What else is out? I am doing Vlogmas again this year. Last year I didn't have anywhere ready to go because we were kind of in lockdown again in the UK, but this time everything seems to be open still. We've gone back to mask wearing though because of the new variant from South Africa, I think it was. And the last thing I have to show you is that my pattern is going to be in the Cozy Box by Gemma of the Midnight Diary, which I think is due out in the next few weeks or so. It's currently in testing, so hopefully that all goes all right. So it's a little bit Christmassy. I've got the lights on, I've got all my advents out. I actually have 5 this year. I have the Crochet Society one. Again, this is a completely different version, I guess, to last year's one, which was quite big. So this one's quite nice. We can reuse it as well. Then I have 2 dice ones, one from Trade and Tested, one from Beholder's Gaze. I have this big grey box down here, which is from Bumbling Yarns, also known as The Lonely Knitter on Instagram, which is Laura. And then I have an advent swap that I did with my bestie Emma, where we've bought or made 25 items or 24 items to create our own little advent. So that's really sweet. I was trying to say cute and sweet at the same time, but there we go. So yeah. I also have a Facebook page, which is the House of Langford over on Facebook, and there is a Facebook group attached to it, which can be really quiet at times. I do try and remember to post there, but I'm not very good at posting on Facebook because Instagram is a lot quicker for me. But yeah, so that's that. There's also a Ko-fi account linked to this podcast if you wanted to support us. It goes towards sort of editing fees, as well as free tutorials that I put out on the channel, and giveaway prizes as well. So there's always something for everybody. Right, let's actually start the podcast then. So my plans for November were to, I keep looking down because my book is right there in front of me. I wanted to try and finish the Garter Squish sweater, which was a test knit. I wanted to do the Strawberry Lemonade shawl because I'd got quite far into the first sort of section of it, and everything was going well, or so I thought. We'll put a pin in that and come back to it later. I wanted to finish the Baubles cowl, which I showed you a little bit of last month. We had a little sneak peek, so I'll show you a bit more of that today. I had a second Gingerbread Man, same as this one but slightly smaller, started last month, which I wanted to finish as well. And I needed to design some Christmas decorations because I was helping to run a Christmas workshop, a crochet workshop at my local yarn shop. So out of all of those, I have done 2. I have finished the Baubles cowl and I have designed some Christmas decorations. Everything else has either been restarted, scrapped, or is still a whip. So let's move on to finishes, because there are a few and I need to get them filmed before I wrap some of them up because they're going in the advent as well. So the next thing I have to show you is the Netty Shawl by Anna Nikiforovich. I think I showed you the pattern before, but just in case. This is the Netty Shawl. I got the pattern from the Yarn Dispensary and it's printed on a nice cardstock. But you can get it on Ravelry and I believe Anna's own page as well, mushka.co.uk. So I'll put all the details down below for you. Now it says to use Rowan Creative Linen, but I didn't have the money to go and buy a creative linen, and I already had 2 balls of Karen, I think they're Simply Paints, Karen Paints, Simply Soft Karen yarn, 2 balls of that. So I made it in that, and I still have yarn left over. So it's got this really nice like shell pattern. The colourway is Oceania, and I'm hoping that once it's been worn a bit, the pattern will stretch out a bit, so you get a little bit of the lace sort of stitches showing, because it's quite dense, but it's long enough to go around the neck. So I'm really hoping that my bestie likes it. And yeah, I thought it was going to take a lot longer. I think I whipped this up in a couple of days. The yarn is more of an Aran weight, which probably helped. And the edging is actually so simple. It's just like a picot edging, but it worked up so quickly. And I think I added an extra one to make it match on either side as well. Yeah, this side's got an extra one. But yeah, really enjoyed it. It's got a really nice cast on start, so you do like a double crochet without the foundation chain as your starting row, and it means it's got a bit of stretch to it as well, which is brilliant. And obviously, as I said, it's a bit narrow, but like I said, it's got enough room there to stretch out a bit. So I'd say that's long enough. Yeah, it's gonna be super cozy and warm as well, so that can now be wrapped up and ready for Advent. So that used almost 2 balls, almost. I think each one is either 100 or 150 grams, so they're quite big anyway. But yeah, that's finish number 2 for November. The next finish I'm going to show you is another gift for my Advent for Emma, and that is a pair of mittens. You've seen this pattern before because it is a Crochet Society pattern from box number 1. I made them all in grey last time, and I actually have a 3rd pair half done as well that I need to show you later. So my son had a date recently, and I think I was working on the shawl, but I wanted to also try and get some yarn to make these for my friend, and I didn't have any orange yarn, and she really likes orange, so I went to John Lewis to pick some up and couldn't decide which grey to do them with, whether it was the dark grey or the light grey. And I figured that because Tin Man is quite popular, the light grey, I would get one of each grey. So I have made these in 3 sets of colours. So I have the darker grey, light grey, and then orange, and I've just repeated that colour order all the way down. And I think these are actually better than the ones I made before. So I'm really hoping she likes these. These are a little bit bigger for me. I did do them all in the 4mm hook because that's how I got gauged last time. Well, not that I got gauged, just that's how I got them to fit me last time. But yeah, so I'm really hoping she likes them because I really enjoyed working on them. And actually, again, they didn't take very long to do. I think I whipped up 1 mitten in knit night, so in a couple of hours. I just needed to join it together and put the thumb bit on, and then I've had to weave in all the ends because so, but yeah, a couple of evenings and I had a pair of mittens, so obviously I have a 3rd one on the go just because. But yeah, super easy pattern. Once you've got the hang of the star stitch, it just flies by, and they grow so quickly. I think because the star stitch is so wide and it's just done in 2 rows, that's what makes them grow really quick. So really pleased with this pattern, and I'm most definitely going to be making more just because. Maybe not for everybody in my family, but some of them may be getting them at some point. So that is make number 3, and I've used the West Yorkshire Spinners yarn And I still have all of this left over, so I could probably make another pair just from these colours alone. And they don't have the names on them. I think this one's called Pumpkin. This one is definitely Tin Man, but I can't remember what the darker grey is, so I'll have to double check. But I'll put all the details down below. As I said, I picked these up in John Lewis just because I was there, and actually they're only, it tends to be the same price almost everywhere, so it's not difficult to necessarily get it or shop around, because it's pretty much the same price. So I just got it whilst I was there. I don't necessarily like getting stuff from the bigger shops. I would have preferred to have got this from a smaller business, but I think I was too eager to just buy them, and I think it was only like 5p difference in the price anyway, and I would have needed to pay postage, so I did just get them whilst I was out. But yeah, West Yorkshire Spinners. This is the luxury Bo Peep, so Bo Peep Luxury Baby DK. Yeah, and it works out really, really well. It's also meant to be machine washable, but I haven't tried it yet. Maybe that's next on my list to do. So as I said, that pattern is from Crochet Society box 1. They are called the Willow Field Mitts, and they are by Tony Lipsey, who is TL Yarn Crafts on Instagram. So now is everything else I've been working on this month. Quite a lot of Christmas related things, mainly because I was helping support the workshop, and a lot of these are actually my own pattern. Last month I showed you one of these, which is my pattern, which is the flat, now they're all tangled up, the flat Christmas present decoration, which is this one. So I showed you that one last month. Now I didn't write the pattern up when I made it, so I needed to sit down, make another one and write the pattern up, and I did it differently because that's what I end up doing. But I made it in sparkly yarn. So this is the King Cole Glitz in, I think it's the cherry colourway or Christmas red. And I didn't do it just in, when I went around the outside rather than going into the back loop only, I went through both, and that's why this one is slightly different. So that's one, because I made one of those last month. I then made a couple of stars. So I've got a large star and a smaller star. This is just using the sparkly Poundland yarn that you can get, just because I was practicing with the templates. These are both free patterns, and I will put all the links down below for you. Although I think they're meant to be like snowflakes, but they do look like stars. So this one kind of looks floral. Like, I didn't put all 3 chain in the corners, and actually I think that's why it looks like a flower. So if I do it again, I will definitely put all the chains. You're supposed to put 3, and I put 1 because I'm a rebel. So I have 2 stars. I showed you the big Christmas present last month as well, so that's this one. Haven't made any more as yet. I think they're quite cute, and actually I think next year for my stall I will probably make more of these, but for now I just have the one because that was my practice piece. I have made some plain baubles just with the Christmas glitz colourway. So I made a ball, I did a ball pattern to try and fit around a fake snowball, which is a different one. I'll show you that in a second. So I've got a couple of the Christmas colourway. One I've done like a chain stitch just to make the loop, and one is just a hanging, just a piece of yarn to make the loop. So I've got 2 of those. So I also did a red one. This one keeps going a bit odd shaped. It's not quite staying like a ball, but it's like it's a dark red with a glitz in there. Again, King Cole Glitz. We'll see how many I can get on my hand. I made it into stripes, so I did it so you could alternate the colours every 2 rounds. This one has a fake snowball in it, so it's quite sturdy. But yeah, I did it so you changed every 2 rounds, and obviously you can do that any colour you like, or even mix up all different colours. Then, because I already had a round pattern, I decided I would try and make it into a Christmas pudding. So then I designed the icing for the top of the Christmas pudding. The berry is actually the same button pattern for the Gingerbread Man, and the leaves are from a different pattern, which I will show you in just a second. So anyway, I have two of the Christmas puddings. Again, one has a different chain to the other. This is a flat Christmas pudding. This is not my pattern. These are all mine, all the different ball balls. This one is from Yarnspirations, and you can see the leaves on here are the same as the leaves on the big one. So that is from the Yarnspirations pattern. They are so simple to make and so quick, and I have since made quite a few of these for an event tomorrow, so I'm hoping they do well. Yeah, so these have used Starcraft for the brown and the white, because that's the gingerbread colour, and the white I've used Glitz on the Christmas green, and the cherry for the berry and the leaves. And then on this one I've used lipstick for the berry, and the green is actually a New Deramores yarn, which is their New Deramores DK yarn. So there's that one. And the last one, I've utilised a curtain ring and some bells that have been in my stash for quite some time. I made a little Christmas wreath. So all these patterns are written up, and I will get them all uploaded somewhere. Maybe Ravelry, maybe elsewhere if I can work out how to do it elsewhere. But yeah, I really enjoyed putting all these together, and we had a really nice time at the event at my local yarn shop as well. So I have all these Christmas decorations. Oh, and these. Don't forget these as well. So it's been really fun actually to work on them and try something different and push my skills, because I'm not always necessarily confident in my pattern writing. It tends to make sense to me, but I'm worried it doesn't make sense to other people. And it was really nice to just see people getting on and being able to work them up with not much support in a way, just the odd question to check things. So that was really nice to see. Yeah, maybe we'll do some more in the future. But for now, they currently live in a Quality Street tin or box, which doesn't shut. What I will say though is, as I said, I've made more. So I've made quite a few more of the little puddings because they're so quick to make. I've made 5 more, and I'm hoping to try and make a couple more today as well for tomorrow. So we'll see how that goes. But yeah, really quick Christmas makes, and if I can get the patterns up at least some point this year, maybe you can join and make some too. So the last make that I have is another Christmas project. Now, I made one of these last year as a gift for Julia, but I used a mini skein to do his coat and ran out of yarn, so his wings are a little bit shorter, but I made this one in Christmas yarn. So I have another Brian. Here's Brian the Christmas penguin. His body is white Starcraft DK. His coat and wings are the Glitz King Cole Glitz Christmas colourway, and his feet and beak are both from the New Deramores DK yarn, just because I had one of every colour. And yeah, I think it's rather sweet, don't you? I do love this pattern. It is by Lexin Stitches for Made by Penguins, and it's just so lovely to do. I always get a bit confused when doing the coat. It tends to twist really strangely for me, so I've had to tell myself to just count everything to make sure it does go in the correct order. And I think actually when I looked at the pattern, I think I made a small change to it so that it worked for me. I think it was like adding 1 stitch at the beginning of a round so that it kept it all even. I think last time mine twisted and I wasn't sure about it. So yeah, my little penguin. Yeah, as always, I'll put the links down below so you can make your own too. But he's just stuffed with stuffing and I love him so much. shall we move on to whips now? I do love a nice cup of tea. So, in my exclusive yarn project bag, my yarn hut project bag, I have some more Starcraft DK so that I could make more of the mini puddings, and I have the pattern in here too. So there's a pattern from Yarnspirations. It is a free pattern, so I'll put the link down below for you. In here is my dice bag. Can't remember if I started this last month or not. I may well have, and if I have, and I have showed you already, there's not much change. I have done a few rounds, but it doesn't appear to get much bigger. So I'm using Cabaret, and I'm using a crocodile stitch pattern to make a large dice bag. And the idea is that I will need to make an inner shell, because it's actually got quite large holes. So if I put dice in there, they're just going to fall through the holes. So I have to make an inner shell and attach that to it. But for now, I think it's working out okay. The yarn changes colour as I go through it. It's got a purple sparkle yarn all the way through it. It's like a metallic yarn. Don't know if that's really showing up. And it goes through greys and purples. So this is called... Now, this is my only issue with Cabaret yarn. I think I'm going from the centre. Possibly. Might not be. I think this could just be from outside. Looks like it's just from the outside. It doesn't stay wrapped in a ball very well. So let's find the label. This is Purple Haze. There we go. Starcraft. Double knitting. It's 98% premium acrylic and 2% polyester. And I believe I'm just using a 4mm hook for this. Yeah. So it's going to be quite weighty though when it's finished, if I've got to do a second layer inside that, but we'll see anyway. I might have to do the inner layer in a different yarn. But again, we'll see later. So that is my dice bag. I will put the link to the pattern down below, because at the moment I cannot remember it. And I have to keep using my phone anyway to do the pattern, because it's just on there. I can't remember if it's a free pattern or whether I have paid and downloaded it. Again, I'll double check, but I'll put everything you need to know down below. I've seen quite a few dice bags made, particularly in the glitz yarn, the Cabaret yarn. So yeah, I'll just keep going. The next one to show you is... I'm just going to grab them out of the bag and show you in order. I have half a Gingerbread Man. I was looking at trying to do a Gingerbread Man for our workshop, but actually this one took me ages to do, and I wasn't prepared to allow our students to try and fight with it. So yeah, I have half a Gingerbread Man because I haven't brought myself to do the other half of him and then stitch him together. He will get finished, hopefully before Christmas. But yeah, and he also curls up because he's flat. So I have to make another one of this and then make his buttons, put on his face, and then stitch around him together to make the icing. So yeah, I wasn't not overly impressed with him, but I'm hoping he'll look quite nice when he's finished. So I don't know if that's a free pattern either, possibly, but I just found it a little bit difficult to understand. So yeah, I'll put details of him down below, and maybe you'll get to see him finish next month. To go with him, I've got a pom-pom. I was showing somebody at the shop how to make pom-poms using your fingers, so that's what this one is. Just a little bit of yarn I had with me. I have the other mitten that I've been working on. So this is one of the mittens, which has already been sewn up. I just need to put the thumb, crochet the thumb area for it. So I'm just using a pink and the grey. Again it is Tin Man. Let me see if I can find the label for the other one, because I think it's in my other bag. It doesn't have the name of it on there. I believe it's 728. Might be 210 is the number. Can't remember. Yeah, so that is the pink and the grey. I think it's more of a coral colour. That kind of rings a bell. So there's that one. Yeah, so I have made one, which needs the fun bit. And then I started on the second one using what was left over from my first ball of Tin Man. And I might get the cuff out of it. Oh no, that is the cuff. So I've done the cuff and then I have crocheted into the side. So I'm ready to add the pink. But I don't know whether to cut this off or whether it will actually do the next row after the pink. So we'll see. But yes, I have one cuff for the next one. So yeah, I should have another pair of mittens by the end of this month too. If not in the next week, so you might even see them on Vlogmas too. How about that? So let's move on to the next one. I seem to have as many whips as I do finishes this month. I think because I've been working on the Christmas decorations, there's a lot going on. I'll show you the strawberry lemonade shawl again. Now the reason I'm showing you again is because I did it wrong. Again. Now, everything was going fine. I was enjoying it. I did the second lace panel, then did the second garter panel. And then when I went to put my markers in, because I'd forgotten to do it on the last row, I realised I had one stitch missing. And I'll put some pictures up to try and explain what was wrong with it. I had managed to twist, I think I twisted it, put it back on my needle and knit the wrong way, and then knit back again with one of the stitches. So I'd lost a stitch quite early on in the garter panel, and then I tried to fix it by dropping down stitches, and I could only find 2 to pick up. So I have no idea what I'd done, but I think I dropped 4 stitches to try and pick up an extra stitch and could only find 2. So me being me, ripped it all completely back and started again. So I have done the first lace panel and the first garter panel, and that is my tale of woe with the strawberry lemonade shawl. What I have done though is found my higher pandas, which go on the end of my needles to keep them safe. So I have those, and they're both holding little knitted socks, which is so cute. So again, I'm using Roxanne by Truly Hooked. It is the strawberry lemonade shawl pattern by Gemma of the Midnight Diary from Summer Cozy Box, and it's in my Animal Crossing inspired bag. I've got loads of stitch markers in there ready to do the next bit. I will do it. I'm determined to get it correct. And now that I've done the second garter panel, I am going to put a lifeline in before I do the lace panel, and then put a lifeline in before I do the garter panel. And I think that's how I'm going to have to continue. But yeah, it will get done. It's just, I wish I was better at knitting, I guess. The last whip I have is my other Gingerbread Man. He now has, I think I showed you 2 arms, so I've got one arm inside the other. He now has 2 feet to go with him, which are still attached because I need to attach those 2 together. So I've got arms and feet. Now I just need to actually make his body and then get to his head. That is a pattern from Simply Crochet, issue 115, which is this one. It's the same pattern as that one. I did this one in a 4mm hook, and I believe this pattern is supposed to do it in a 3 or a 2.5. 2.5. So I am now making him in a 2.5, and he is considerably smaller, and the fabric it's creating is a lot more dense. but he's going to be really nice when he's finished. So I'm using Stylecraft DK, special DK in Gingerbread Man, or Gingerbread, and then I've got, I think I'm using the glitzy yarn. Yeah, I'm just using Knitting Essentials sparkly Poundland white yarn to do all his frosting bits, and he's coming out quite nice. Okie dokie, so the last section is acquisitions, and I thought I'd been good this month because I pretty much had no money for the majority of it, but it turns out I've still got quite a bit. Don't think I've bought anything yet for December, except for the only thing that's due in December is the monthly collab club, which for November was Debonair Yarns, so I have 2 skeins of hers coming. I did, to be fair though, a lot of what I bought was not really a lot of what, but I bought lots of minis, and the reason I bought lots of minis is to put them in the advent calendar for Emma. So that can be forgiven, right? Anyway, so I've already mentioned I went to John Lewis back in November. I picked up those 3 balls of West Yorkshire spinners from John Lewis, and whilst I was in there I picked up some stars. So they're gold frames, or gold, like metal, it's a metal star that is gold. You get a pack of 3, they were a £5, and I want to, my plan is to use at least one of them and make a pom-pom wreath. So I just want to make lots of white pom-poms in all different sizes, tie them all to the star and then hang it up. That's what my wreath will be this year. I do try and put a wreath either on my door or in my window, just that I am still in the mood for Christmas, and I might even try and get some battery powered lights to attach to it as well, and then I can light up my window every night. But at the moment it's still in the packet. I think because I've been so obsessed with making decorations for the market tomorrow, so once that's all out of the way, then I can just sit and make pom-poms in all different sizes, using all the different white shades of yarn that I've got, whether it is the glitzy stuff or just white Stylecraft, because I have tons of it. But yeah, so that is the plan for those. I also picked up a pair of knitting needles, which I think was for the strawberry lemonade shawl, so that's what they're currently on. I don't know what that is. That's my gloves. I've been looking for those. I have, right, so that is Castle. So let's show you Castlev Yarns first. Now I can't remember, why did I want these? I bought a skein of Moana yarn, inspired yarn, which is called Beyond the Reef, which is for my friend for Advent. And whilst I was there, bought other things for me, just because. So I've been trying to find a nice grey that I can use with a variety of my different yarns together, and I spotted a set of minis which are called the Bad Guys minis over at Castlev Yarns, and they are Donegal Naps yarn. So they've got the extra, they look a bit to me that is what I would call tweedy, but they've got like extra bits of fluff in them, and there's 5 different colours. So there's a grey, a blue, a red, a purpley pink and a green, and they are all 85% superwash merino, 15% Donegal Nep. They are DK 100 grams, so approximately 212 meters for all of them. Individually they are 20 grams and therefore 42 meters. And then because I wanted to put these with something, I then picked up the 2 greys that she had, which were also Donegal Nap. So I have the darker grey, which is Stolen Wings, and then I have Merlin's Beard in the light grey, and I think actually they should all work quite nicely together because they're all the same sort of base, they're all DK, and I just wanted the colours to pop a little bit inside the grey, so that's going to be nice and squishy. Not sure whether it'll be knit or crochet, but I want it to be my own pattern. So at the moment I'm leaning more towards crochet, but I think that'd actually look quite nice as a knitted shawl. Even if it's just a triangle, but with sectioned stripes throughout in each of the colours. So watch this space, because that will become something. Don't know when. Maybe soon. Depends how much I really want it at the moment. But anyway, so that is the Denagle Tweedy DK from Castlev Yarns. I'm going to call it the Bad Guys Shawl, I think, as well. Just because. And as I said, I got the Beyond the Wreath colourway, so I'll pop a picture up of that, because I don't want to try and find it now, because I still haven't wrapped all of the advent bits and bobs. But my room is currently a tip, because I'm trying to prep for tomorrow. So that was the first one. I then have the Collab Club from October's Collab Club. So this is from Blue Dot Yarn. She used to be known as something else, but there are two companies that are very similar, so they changed it to Blue Dot Yarn. So this is the badge that comes with it. This is designed by a company called Eris Apple on Instagram. So Blue Dot Yarn. I have one in the, which one's this? This is DK. So these are all called Winter Sundown. 85-15, so superwash merino and nylon base. 200 meters per 100 grams. And it's these blues, golds, yellows. There's a little bit of peach in there as well. There's some flecks of red just popping in there too. And it just reminded me of summer and going to the beach. So I have the DK version, which is 85-15. Then I have the 4-ply version, which is 75-25, which is this one. It's amazing to see how the colours differ depending on the base as well, and how the colour takes to each one. So I have those two. And then because I seem to have this obsession with buying mohair but not actually using it, I bought the mohair as well, which I believe is, so it's 75-25. It's brushed baby Suri alpaca and mulberry silk, which is that one. So it's fluffy, so fluffy. At some point I want a nice lightweight sweater, but I know I want to do it with mohair and 4-ply together, but I want to put the mohair with a plain 4-ply so that the colours do still show up. At least that's what I'm hoping will happen anyway, and that will be knitted at some point. So I've not used any of these before. I keep calling it mohair. It's not mohair. This is alpaca. I don't know how much I would need of this. That's the issue though, because they're 50 grams, but I don't, there's quite a lot of meters. There's 300 meters there. I don't know how much I would need. I would expect it to go quite far if I'm holding it with something and it's really thin. So anyway, there is 200 meters per 100 grams on the DK, and there is 400 meters per 100 grams of the 4-ply. So those are the three for Blue Dot Yarn, which was October. Yes, October. They arrived the month after you pre-order. And I finally did the reel for Gemma's yarn, which was September. So now I have to do this one as well. So that's two. The last one is from Vicky Brown. I know that I have got the mini Skein Club ombre set still for November, but I can't find it. I found October's, but I can't find November, which is really annoying. I'm going to change it to the randoms after Christmas, or after the December one comes, so that I've got a set of 3 months in the ombre, which I can put together in something else, because that's 150 grams, which I think is quite a nice amount of yarn for one project together, and then I will switch to the randoms. So that's the plan anyway. Whether I remember to do that or not is another matter, as we know already. So I ordered mainly for the Advent, I ordered a couple of mini grab bags. And I ordered the September and the August random mini club as well. I also ordered this one, which is called Candy Floss Pop. I ordered 3 of these. One has gone in the advent. One is for Julia as one of her wishes over on Instagram. And one for me. In the end, I don't actually think I ended up with the August set of minis. I think I ended up with 3 lucky dips. These ones are the September. And just from a couple of the names, these are Ghostbuster themed. We have Goza in the yellow, Slimer in the green, Terror Dog in the red, Dana in the purple, and Zool in the mixed one in the middle. So they are staying together. I do actually really like the Ghostbusters series. I used to watch it all the time when I was a kid as well, for the original ones. And I cannot wait to go and see the new one that's out as well, because Paul Rudd is in it. Who doesn't love Paul Rudd? So, I mean, just look at that green. It's so cool. So they are all staying together. So that is the September one, I believe. Back in the bag. So a couple of them don't have labels, which is fine. These ones kind of look like they all go together, like as a paint box sort of colourway. So we've got, that's ombre 4. So I've got that one in my blanket somewhere. I've probably got that one in my blanket as well. This one is psychedelic in the purple. And then the blue is bath bomb. This one is also an ombre, I think. This one is ombre 5. So that one's in my blanket as well. So I think those 5 are going to stay together in something, which means that the rest are going to Emma, or potentially going to Emma. We have Potion, which is greens. We have Somniferum, which I think might be a flower. There's a nice bright yellow in there with the blue. We have Nightmare. It's got some lovely tones in there of like peaches. And then we have Mechanopsis, which is this one. So there's a pops of colour in the bottom there as well. And obviously the ombre 5. But they all look quite muted together. And the others, are, I think, are all based on flowers. So I'm going to have a look at what there actually is and decide which ones to put in the advent. I don't need all of them. I just wanted a few to put in there. But I am going to use the ones with labels. So that is that. I think that might be everything. So pop all those away. And then we'll pop my candy floss one in there as well. The needles were not that I bought were not actually for the strawberry lemonade. They were for the Christmas jumper that I was going to start, which I showed you the yarn for last month. So I got 8mm set because my current 8mm are in my garter squish jumper. So with these I could start the other one. And I picked up Simply Crochet, which came with a crochet nativity pattern set and a crochet hook, which has got Christmassy colours. I have opened the packet. I was going to put these away and then I forgot. But there's some really cool patterns. This one, there's another teddy bear there as well. Some Christmassy bits. I think that's everything. Right. So now that I have got the bug for creating patterns, I guess, I'm hoping that next year I will be able to bring some to you. I think I'm always worried about them being tech edited and them not really reading correctly, or people not being able to follow them. And a lot of the times I think it's also because I crochet in a different way to most people in terms of how I hold my yarn, which means how I do a stitch might be different to how somebody else does a stitch, and therefore they look different. Anyway, I think that is everything. I've mentioned the Viscorno along, which is still running till the end of the year. I am trying to join in with the winter cast on over on Instagram, which is run by Gemma and Ellen. So a lot of what I've done this month goes into that as well. Yeah, I'm now going to try and make some more Christmas puddings, try and organise all my stock for tomorrow, and then my mum is coming over so that we can load up the car. So hopefully you'll see some footage of tomorrow's event as well in Vlogmas. I need to get days 1 to 4 edited and uploaded at some point. I still don't know if I am going to club them all together because they're actually coming up quite long. Other notices then for November. My boy turned 17. I know, I have a 17-year-old at home. What was quite nice though is that he wasn't actually in isolation this time because he didn't have COVID this year. But I was at work, my husband was at work, so he spent the day with my dad watching movies, and we went round for takeaway and cake, and then I bought him another cake just because. Plans for December. As I've mentioned already, I'm doing Vlogmas. I'm hoping to try and decorate my window at some point too. I've seen a lot of people do just very simple hanging bauble decorations. So, and I've got lots of fishing wire, or what's it called for me? Monofilament. So I can string up all my baubles into the window and make it look pretty for Christmas without really needing to find space to put a tree up, because there is no space in my home for a tree. It's as simple as that. I have too much stuff. I keep saying this, I keep trying to go through it. It's not happening at the moment. So I'm going to get tomorrow out of the way. I've got my first Christmas market in 2 years because obviously everything was cancelled last year, and I'm really hoping it goes well, but I'm both anxious and excited at the same time, so I'm feeling a little bit sick. Found out my mom's not been very well this week, and she's coming with me tomorrow as well, so it's going to be quite hard on both of us. I'm really hoping that I don't make her more ill for coming with me. It's not an event I can do on my own either, so we do really need to support each other tomorrow. I have 2 weeks left of work before we break up for Christmas, which is brilliant because we are literally counting down the days now. My QTS is going through, so I'm busy writing up everything I need to write up for that, which means I have no time for much else, but I'm still managing to squeeze in some crochet, some making time for me, so that I don't get a bit irate and despondent, I guess, about working all the time. And yeah, I think we're now at a point, I'm not necessarily feeling very festive for Christmas or really looking forward to it, but I'm looking forward to a break, to the 2 weeks off that we have, and I have offered to run a wellbeing session at our inset day on the 4th of January at work. What I want to try and do is either have teachers painting bags or stamping bags, or we could do a heat transfer. I think maybe I'd have to practice that. We'll see. I'm just hoping it'll be something relaxing for them to do. It's not necessarily structured in any way. Basically, here are some fabric paints, let's paint some bags. So we'll see how that goes. Although I hadn't thought about this, I might actually need to order some fabric paint as well. That's life, I guess. Life of a teacher. Yeah. Anyway, how have you guys been for November, I guess? Let me know in the comments what your favourite make was from this month, or what your plans are for December for over Christmas. See if you can cheer me up in terms of making me feel festive and Christmassy. I have bought 2 new Christmas jumpers, this being one of them. So I'm trying, but my mental health is not in the right place, I guess. I'm hoping Vlogmas will help, but we shall see. Yeah. Right, I best go because I've got a lot of work to do today. Thank you for joining me today. I hope you've enjoyed that. Anyway, it's been a bit mix and match, mix and crazy. Yeah. Take care. I'll see you later. Bye.